In Nigeria, elders say that when the water is quiet, something is listening. Along the coastal rivers of the Niger Delta, fishermen still whisper about Mammy Water, the powerful spirit queen of the deep. But this story is not truly about her. It is about her daughter, the one who loved a human and paid the price for it. Beneath the dark green waters where the Atlantic meets Nigeria's coast lies a hidden realm known only to spirits. It is a place where time does not age the body, where coral glows brighter than gold, and where water spirits move freely between worlds. Among them lived Zinachi, the daughter of Mammy Water. Unlike the others, she was gentle and curious. While the spirits danced in the depths and fed on fear and worship, Zinachi watched the human world from below. She watched canoes drift on the river, listened to laughter from distant villages, and felt something in her heart that the deep waters could not silence. Mammy Water warned her many times. She told her that humans destroy what they do not understand. She said that loving them would only bring pain and loss. But Zinachi's heart did not obey warnings. One evening, guided by the current, she followed the river upward, past the mangroves and muddy banks, until she reached a small fishing village resting quietly under the moonlight. That night, fate was already waiting. A fisherman named Obina was returning home late that night. The river was calm, too calm, as though it was holding its breath. Suddenly, the water turned restless. A whirlpool rose without warning, spinning his canoe until it broke apart. Obina struggled as the river pulled him down, his strength fading with every second. As darkness closed in around him, he saw her beneath the water, a woman glowing softly, her hair floating like smoke, her eyes deep and peaceful. Zinachi pulled him from the river and placed him gently on the riverbank. Before dawn arrived, she disappeared back into the water, leaving only wet sand behind. From that day, Obina was no longer the same. Every night he returned to the riverbank, drawn by a feeling he could not explain, and every night Zinachi came to meet him. She spoke little, but the river spoke for her. She taught him respect for the waters, for spirits unseen, and for forces older than man. Slowly, Obina fell in love, not fully understanding that the woman he loved was not human. As their bond grew, the river began to change. Fish became scarce, the waters grew uneasy, and the villagers started having heavy, troubling dreams. Deep below, Mammy Water had noticed, the sea does not ignore broken laws. Zinachi was summoned to the depths. The waters darkened as Mammy Water rose, crowned with shells and ancient power. Her presence shook the currents as she spoke. Zinachi had broken the covenant. Spirit blood was never meant to mix with mortal desire. Zinachi begged, her heart torn between the deep waters and the land she had come to love. Mammy Water offered a choice, not out of kindness, but out of balance. Zinachi could return to the river forever and forget the human world, or she could choose the land and become flesh. But choosing the land would cost her everything: her powers, her immortality, her voice. And once she stepped onto land, there would be no return. On a moonless night, Zinachi met Obina one final time by the river. Without words, she stepped onto land. The river screamed as her tail split into legs, pain tearing through her body like fire. Her spirit name sank into the water, and her voice was taken by the deep. By morning, a strange, silent woman stood in the village, barefoot, human, and no longer a spirit. Zinachi married Obina and lived as a human woman. She learned human ways, bore children, and watched years pass as age touched her body for the first time. She never spoke again. Every night, she sat by the river, staring into waters that once answered her call. Villagers whispered that she was not ordinary. They said the river listened when she cried. One year, the rains came heavier than ever before. The river overflowed, swallowing land and homes. The waters demanded balance. As Zinachi lay weak and dying, Mammy Water returned, unseen by human eyes. She stood over her daughter and spoke softly. Zinachi had given up eternity for love, and now the river would take her home. By morning, Zinachi was gone. Her body was never found. Only wet footprints led from her bed straight into the river. Fishermen later claimed they saw a glowing figure swimming peacefully beneath the floodwaters, no longer fully human and no longer fully spirit, but something eternal. Till today, elders still warn their children not to mock the river and not to promise love they cannot keep. And they say that if a beautiful woman ever rises from the water and calls your name, you must remember Zinachi, because the water never gives without taking.